Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you're here. If you get a chance and are so inclined, please hit the subscribe button below in the video. It helps my videos get seen by more people. Allegedly, that's what they tell me even. And if you would hit the bell notification icon, you'll be notified when my videos upload, which are usually daily at about 6 a.m. And I have added memberships to the page and to the channel. If anybody's interested, you can read about that there. But today I wanted to talk about an older, cooler, one of my favorite Kizer Blade Series collaborations. This knife, I don't know exactly how many years old it is, but I know it's older than I've been in the community. It is a Daryl Ralph Designs. Daryl Ralph, rest in peace, was a custom knife maker. And this is the Kizer Gunhammer, which is a Daryl Ralph design, all the way down to this 3D milled textured titanium handle. The Gunhammer is a full-sized, beefy knife, very well done. You can tell it's a little bit older, it's unique, but what they've done right is they've got not a right-left reversible clip. They keep the show side clean, but they do have, which I find kind of interesting, a tip up or tip down option. So if you are a tip down kind of guy, Kizer's got you covered here. And whether you are or you aren't, you've got this smooth area under the clip, which really makes the clip go in and out of pocket, even though it's kind of stiff, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But it goes in and out of pocket amazingly well, because this is a good visual of what it looks like under this clip. So you're not rubbing your fabric across the deep 3D textured titanium. I don't know if you can get some good views of the depth of that handle, but it's not hard on the hand. I mean, I've got great grip, but it does not hurt my hand at all. I mean, it's this knife, I'm willing to say, would be ergonomical in everybody's hand. And I'll tell you why as we get into it, as we talk about it. It's got this nice Bowie style blade, right around 3.5 inches. It's a flat ground, about a 3/4 flat, with the slightest recurve there that I plan to, as I sharpen this knife, which I have not yet, I'll just sharpen that out because I'm not a big fan of it. Neither here nor there. This is not a finger choil, but you can choke up on it, use it as a trigger. I'd feel comfortable whittling or feather sticking, but I don't need to, because the ergonomics of this handle, even though you do have these contours in the handle which kind of force your grip, for me, I find that to be a very comfortable grip, and I can hold it in different areas, different types of styles of pinch grips, push cuts, pull cuts. It's just a comfortable knife, and it's very deep milling in this titanium. So the weight relief, there is none on the inside. They are smooth titanium panels that you can see there, but it does have a steel lock bar insert on that lock bar. That's kind of weird. Gave it a little flickery. But you've got good access to this lock bar. It's not milled down here, but you have no problem getting in there and getting it closed. The thumb studs are also your stop pins. So it's got very solid lockup. No blade play, no side to side, of course no up and down. I think it's a wicked looking knife. The flipper tab is done amazingly well. A lot of people might think that it's a little bit extensive, pocket pecker, to quote Nick Shabazz. If you look at it from the side, if I could get it to balance, which for some reason it's not wanting to balance now, it looks kind of like an alligator stepping up out of the water. I mean, it's an aggressive looking knife, very, I guess you'd call it hunter tactical. But this jimping on this flipper tab, as if you can see here, see if I can get it to show up. It goes all the way around from about right here all the way over the flipper tab to about right here. So what that does is that gives you a very positive grip on that flipper tab. It makes it, dare I say, nearly impossible to fail. I can push button it. I can easily light switch it. I can reverse flick it off of the thumb stud / stop pin. I can thumb flick it. It's got just great detent, guys. This knife was originally, when Kizer released it, it was a plus $200 knife. Still of a good value for the materials, which are S35VN, which all the blade series, or most of the ones that I remember, were made in, and titanium. Very nice fit and finish. This is number 910, the Gunhammer. You've got Daryl's maker's mark there on the blade. I don't know why that doesn't want to focus good for you guys. Maybe it's my lighting. Very smooth drop shutty. Just a joy to reverse flick. The flipper tab is not obtrusive in your pocket, and it really is. I mean, it might look weird, but it is so flipping functional. I mean, it feels great, flips great. Let's get something and see if it cuts great. Like I said in a couple of my earlier videos, I'm just dying for somebody to send me a coupon book or something that I can use for slicey. Keep in mind, this is the factory edge, guys. I've not done anything to this knife. And if I don't hit that sharpening choil, it's sharp. I would venture to say it's probably pretty thick behind the edge. It's probably around 20, maybe a 20-degree edge bevel. That'll change when I do sharpen it. I will sharpen it down a little bit, but it's very slicey. And I think a lot of that recurve and what I've read about Daryl's designs is that's just going to pull the material through the cut. And I'm not a recurve guy. This is a very slight recurve. Whoops, that was the cutter's error. But yeah, it's a good cutter, and I bet it would be a good hunting knife. I bet it would be a good skinner, a good work knife, a good camp knife, a good food prep knife. I think there's a lot of applications for a knife like this. Let me put it in and out of my pocket real quick. I'm wearing khakis, and it does push over my seam. I would give it a little help. It pulls out fine. You can see there that it's a titanium clip. It's a little bit springy, but it doesn't rattle. But it does have a nice rounded front and a rounded release, so it works pretty well. And it's got standoffs as opposed to a backspacer. But yeah, just a great knife. I'd been looking at it. I think I saw first Peta at a Therapeutic Edge do a review of this knife that brought it to my attention, and that was over a year ago. And I'd looked at this knife. It was still, even though the Blade Series knives were on sale, this knife always seemed to be holding its value, and it stayed up, you know, around and over the $200 mark. I don't have my spreadsheet in front of me, but I know when I ended up picking up this knife, it had dropped down to somewhere at or right around $150. And guys, for $150 to get a Daryl Ralph custom design made by Kizer, with bearings, S35VN, nice thick blade stock at right under 1/4 of an inch, just a beefy knife. I mean, the way I look at it, you get what you pay for. You might still find these available at some of our favorite retailers. If you do, they'll most definitely be on sale. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons before we go. Let's look at the Gunhammer next to the Cold Steel 4MAX. sandwiched between the Civivi Baby Banter. So you can tell it's a good bit smaller than the Formax, good bit bigger than the Baby Banter. I would say closer to the Formax than the Baby Banter. So now let's look at it with the Benchmade Bug Out. We are all familiar with the size of. It is going to be smaller or smaller than it's bigger than the Bug Out. Paramilitary 2, the Tonto. Guys lined up here. So it's a little bit shorter than the PM2, guys. I'm guessing it's about a ½ inch smaller than the PM2 and about a ½ inch bigger than the Benchmade Bug Out. So I will go to one of the retailer sites and give them credit in my description page under this video with the specs that they give. I can take my Ben Peterson / Ben Banter's NAFCO ruler, and even though I don't read a ruler well, 3.5 inch blade, 4.5 inch handle. So do the math there. 3.5, 4.5. What's that? 8 inches overall. Just a great size knife, guys. Not very heavy, even though there's no internal milling. Again, not crazy about the tip up, tip down. Do I wish that was not there? Sure, but I think it's a good illustration of what Kizer was doing back in the day and what the market was calling for, right? What people were asking for, because Kizer's kind of always been plugged into that. I don't consume a lot of Kizers right now, but I do have I think a very good collection of both Vanguards that I've kept in my collection, the Vanguard series and the Blade series that I look forward to doing long-term reviews on, like this Gunhammer, which has just been great value at $150, worth every bit of the $235 or some odd dollars that it was going for. That shows you the jimping there on that just nice angled spine that I'm sure you could get to hit a ferro rod. Again, that's a chunk of S35VN and titanium. And that's really all we have to talk about on this knife. You know, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate any time you watch one of my videos. I always ask that you look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Continue to go to live streams. Engage with the community. Make friends. Try to understand that everybody has different likes, dislikes, and different styles, different jams that they're into. So be tolerant of others. Try not to shit on people's stuff. Just be a kind individual like you are. And move forward with love in your heart. Choose debate before hate. I love all of you. Peace.